Hello YouTube, your crazy phone junkie here, Rustitution, and today's going to be a very interesting day. We're going to go over Verizon Wireless's current lineup, and we're going to break the smartphones into a few categories. The superphone categories, the best of the best, the bleeding edge, the technology that's so amazing you really don't even need it. Then the Tier 1 smartphones, the excellent smartphones, the phones that are above and beyond what most people currently need, while still being excellent all across the board. Sorry I keep looking away, I don't know why that is. Also, now we're going to talk about the value smartphones. Phones that are really good value for those that are money conscious and that want to save a few bucks but don't want to compromise on the value of a phone that you're going to get. You don't want a phone that's going to be garbage after 6 months. After 6 months you hate it. How many of you have had that happen before? You're like, man, should have spent a few extra bucks on this because this phone's garbage. I hate this Droid. I hate this iPhone. I hate this whatever. It doesn't matter. We've all been there. We've all had a phone that we really didn't like. And a lot of it can come from being sold on the price and not necessarily the phone. We're going to call those our low-budget smartphones. Each one of these phones in the next few days is also going to get a video review, kind of to, one, buff up my video library, but two, to give you, the users, an overview of what phones we offer and what we offer that's a good value and what we offer that suits your needs. Nice. Those are the phones that we're going to go over today. Now, not all the phones that Verizon offers are currently here, because I may or may not have them in stock. The phones that aren't here that are worth mentioning, I will indeed mention. So, let's get to it and break these phones up into categories. Right now, we're going to talk about superphones, the best of the best, the phones that are so bleeding edge, it's kind of ridiculous. And we're going to talk about them and go over them and some of the features that make them fantastic. Now, like I said, be sure to check out the videos that will be coming up later this week, or over the next few weeks, that go into each one of these phones, their current position, and highlight their features. We have the Droid DNA, HTC's powerhouse, HTC's version of the J Butterfly, which is the Japanese version that Verizon had rebranded. 5-inch 1080p screen, gorgeous display, 16 gigabytes of internal storage, no external card slot, but 4G water resistant as per HTC's design specs. Gorgeous 8-megapixel camera, really one of the best phones I think that we currently have on Verizon. Oh, quad-core processor in all of these phones actually, but the quad-core Snapdragon in this guy. Here we have the Note 2, which is a powerhouse in its features as well as its capabilities. Huge screen, it's the Note 2, you get the stylus, you get the ability to write and draw directly on your phone, which is a really nice feature. Huge screen, super fast, the Exynos quad-core processor, and although it's not the most cutting edge of what Samsung offers, it's definitely a super phone. It's not for everyone. For those of you who are looking at possibly getting a tablet, an iPad mini, an iPad, a Note 8.0, Note 10, or really any sort of tablet, and you're in the market for a smartphone too, cut it out. Have this do both. It really does do both. I take all of my notes for my clients. I take notes for class on it. Excellent 8-megapixel camera, and if you're like me and have checked out the review of the Zero Lemon battery, which is what I have on mine right now, you'll find that you can get week-long battery with it as well. And then this is really just a placeholder. This is for the Galaxy S4. The Galaxy S4 is not yet available, but by the time you're seeing this, it will be. Galaxy S4, much like the Droid DNA, it's going to have the 1080p 5-inch screen, the same Snapdragon processor, gorgeous 13 megapixel camera. It's going to be a little bit smaller than the current Galaxy S3, which is nice because that means they've gone with the edge-to-edge display. There will be a review coming out on that as soon as I can get my hands on it. But I don't have one here to show you, otherwise we would be talking about it. But just know it is the best of the best. And that right now is going to conclude the super tier phones. Alright, so welcome to the tier 1 or top tier level phones. And we have a few phones here, and actually more along the lines of families of phones here, with the case of Motorola. This is the Razr Max HD, and the Razr HD and the Razr M fall into this category. Excellent screens. The HDs have the 720p screen and the 4.7-inch layout like this. They're all aluminum framed, Kevlar backs, water-resistant nano coating on the inside. Great screen, great cameras, solid battery life, especially when you go to the Max HD, which is going to give you that 3-day battery life that you may have seen some of the commercials on. So if you're a fan of Motorola and you want a really good smartphone, it's going to be the Razr HD family. Then we have the acclaimed Galaxy S3. You can't go wrong with the Galaxy S3. 4.6-inch screen, 720p, it is HD. And awesome 8-megapixel camera, really sleek design, Gorilla Glass on the front, as with all of the phones that I've shown you so far. All around, just a very popular device. Samsung has done very well in their marketing, and this device will still continue to be a top seller even when the S4 comes out. And then we have everyone either loves or hates the iPhone 5. The iPhone 5 is an excellent phone if the iPhone is your cup of tea. As you've seen in some of my other videos, I kind of beat the crap out of this one, which is why it's dead right now. I just haven't charged it in a few days, which is pretty good actually. I haven't really used it, but the iPhone 5, 4-inch, 4G, super slim, glass up front, ceramic on the back, so not the most durable phone, but there's plenty of case options out there available for those of you who want an iPhone and need durability. Really solid 8-megapixel camera, 1080p video camcorder on the back. And, I mean, if you like the iPhone, this is the best iPhone to get. So, whether you like Apple, you like Samsung, you like Motorola, Verizon's lineup has something in the top end spectrum for you. And for pretty much the same price, if you need something in the Motorola, not the Motorola, the HTC, you have the Droid DNA. So definitely, these phones so far have all been great phones. A little price to pay, but for a premium device, you're definitely going to be okay with that. All right, and here we have the value smartphones. Phones that are going to give you really nice features across the board without breaking the bank. Definitely my go-to recommendations for a few separate reasons. So let's start over here. This is the LG Spectrum 2. You can also still find the Spectrum. The Spectrum 2, though, is definitely a budget-friendly, almost phablet. You get a nice large screen. You do get the 8-megapixel camera, comparing it and trying to compete with the Galaxy S3, the DNA, and the Motorola Razr HD family. But it's an LG, so it's going to come in at a lower price point. Build quality is not going to be as high. There's more plastic, where on the Motorola's you get the aluminum frame. But it is a nice square design, and a lot of customers, I find, like that feature of the Spectrum. So definitely a solid phone. You get the NFC. It even gives you NFC tags, which is really cool. None of the other NFC phones do that. So you can set up tags around the house or work to help automate your phone, make it nice and easy. The next two, these are the Windows 8 phones. Really solid phones. We have the Nokia Lumia 822 and the Samsung Odyssey i930 Active, or Active, A-T-I-V. I'm not sure how Samsung wants us to pronounce that. But the Samsung Odyssey makes it easier. Both Windows 8 phones, both really solid. The Samsung has a solid 5-megapixel camera with an LED flash. Nice solid screen. I prefer the Nokia, to be honest, even though they actually are the same price. But I prefer the Nokia. I think Nokia's software layout is a little bit better. You get Nokia Drive, you get Nokia has a cloud storage, which if you have Office, if you don't want to buy Office 2013, using Nokia's cloud service on your computer, you don't actually have to. You get you can pretty much get it for free, which is a pretty cool feature. But you get the 8-megapixel camera. I prefer the little bit bulkiness design. The battery life, I think, is a little bit better, but they give you a better software feature set. So I prefer the Nokia, but the Odyssey has sold quite well as well. And for those of you who are social network fiends, email fiends, these guys are a really, really solid value when it comes to all-around smartphone. For those who are on Facebook and Twitter, not really a whole lot of apps right now, but that is changing. So if you're a customer who really doesn't need a whole lot of applications, but wants solid email and solid social media and an excellent camera, these guys are excellent in their own right. And now back to some more Samsungs. We have two here. My personal favorite, the Stellar, and my other personal favorite value phone, the Stratosphere 2. And this is the one with the slide-out keyboard. So for those customers, and those of you, I guess I should say, if you are the customer, who need a physical keyboard, the Samsung Stratosphere I really think is the way to go. It's a really solid phone, good camera, awesome keyboard, upgraded internals with its new dual-core processor, more RAM, more internal storage than its predecessor, the Stratosphere. Great value there, especially for those who need the keyboard. And for those of you who don't need the keyboard, the Stellar. The Stellar is a baby Galaxy S3. It has a lot of the same features, still an awesome dual-core processor, a solid camera, not as good as the Galaxy S3s, but a solid camera, will take good pictures. No flash on the camera, though, so if you're a night picture taker, not really for you. But for those of you who are not night picture takers, the Stellar is excellent all around the board. There are often promotions for bringing this in the sub-$50 marker. Occasionally brings it down to free. So for those of you who are budget conscious but don't want to sacrifice your phone, the Stellar and the rest of these phones that we've gone over are the way to go. So that's going to conclude the value smartphones. And now let's go on to the low-tier smartphones. So this, talking about the phones that are low-tier or phones that aren't really going to last you a 2-year contract, doesn't really go so much with my company, although there are phones that I'm not really strong at pushing because they're not my favorite phones, but occasionally you're going to find stores that try to sell you things that they're trying to get rid of, or phones that have been sitting back there for a very long time, like these two, case in point. It is 2013, and we have Droid 2 Global, brand new. And this guy right now is $50 after $50 mail-in rebate. And we have Motorola Devour. Haven't seen one of these in quite some time. Both, when they came out, they were decent phones. But when it comes to today's standards, the software on the Devour is definitely outdated, and the Droid 2 Global's 800 megahertz single-core processor isn't really going to hold up with the demands of the current applications. So if you walk into a store and you see something that just doesn't look out of place, they're trying to sell it to you because it's the best thing that Samsung makes
currently. It could be because there is a spiff and they're trying to get rid of inventory. So just be careful when you're looking around at the real cheap markets. These personally would be for me if someone came in and said, hey, I broke my phone, I'm not eligible for an upgrade for 6 months, but I need something, what do you have? Being that these are older, I can often sell them these off contract for a lot better than anything else that we currently sell. So I hope that cleared that up. I don't want to discredit anything, but older phones are usually something you want to stay away from, even if they're trying to give it to you for free. So just some 2 cents there.
So yeah, that pretty much covers most of Verizon's lineup. And if there's a phone that I didn't talk about or you want to know about and where I would classify it, give me a call, or not a call, but shoot me a message down below and I'll get back to you. I'll do a video review, I'll classify it. But I mean, there are a few phones that I don't have, like the Blackberries. The BlackBerry Z10 I would probably put in the Tier 1 smartphone category. It's got a lot of features. It is a nice phone from the ones that I have played with and seen in action. It's not for everyone. It is more of a niche market for those who are super, super email heavy and business heavy, and they need the BlackBerry Enterprise server, or the diehard BlackBerry fans. Those are the people that I would recommend the BlackBerry Z10 to. But that really is, as far as I can think of, most of Verizon's lineup. So, yeah, I think that's it. So, Rustitution here, your phone junkie. Check out more of the full in-depth reviews of these phones, and we'll continue. And if you have questions, shoot me a message, drop a comment. We'll do it. Hit the subscribe button, which will be, I don't know, somewhere around here, I guess, right there. Hit the subscribe button. Always coming out with new videos. I'm going to try to create a nice solid schedule of video releases. And in the next few weeks from when this video is aired, we're going to see a whole lot of content come out. So check out the channel. There's going to be a lot of good stuff.